Hello and welcome to Hyperplay. You wait a year for a successor to the legendary Retroid Pocket 5, and then not one, not two, but three arrive at once. How did it come to this? So, along with the RP G2 being announced, which is basically a Retroid Pocket 5 Plus with the G2 Gen 2 processor, announced on Monday, along also came the Retroid Pocket 6, or did it? This is what we thought the Retroid Pocket 6 was going to be. A little bit bigger, a little bit bulkier than the Retroid Pocket 5, better ergonomics therefore, we would hazard, but with those teeth at the front, including two mappable hotkeys. Not everyone was enamoured with the design, certainly a much lower screen-to-body ratio on the Retroid Pocket 6 in its original form. Nonetheless, we declared it best OLED price to performance, and that will not change, whatever the Retroid Pocket 6 now looks like, and we'll get to that in a moment, because you're still packing that Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 120Hz OLED screen, all at a superb wallet-friendly price, and that's why we said the Retroid Pocket 6 has the best OLED price to performance in the $200 to $299 bracket. Some thought it looked disgusting. However, Retroid took to the Twitters and the Discords and put up two polls. Which do you prefer? Top, their original RP6 if you will, or the bottom, which is their redesigned one, looking much more similar to a Retroid Pocket 5. Well, they also put out a second vote. Do you want the left stick on top, or would you prefer the D-pad on top? For what it's worth, not much. We voted for the toothy design of the RP6 with the thumbstick on top. I understood the poll, albeit the wording could have been clearer. Many didn't. There was use of the word current design by Retroid. Did they mean the current old design of the Retroid Pocket 6 or the current new design of the Retroid Pocket 6? But then isn't the new design the old design because it now looks a lot more like the Retroid Pocket 5? My goodness, my giddy aunts. My aunts have never been so giddy. For a while you could still buy the old Retroid Pocket 6 on the website, but not anymore. So now the final results are in. And it is indeed all change for the Retroid Pocket 6, because stick up top was favoured, and the redesign of the Retroid Pocket 6, making it look more similar to the Retroid Pocket 5, was also preferred by the punters. Retroid David's been busy on the Discord, showing the breakdown on who's buying what. Pleased to see Black, Silver and 16-bit are the top three options, as they were the ones we said looked nicest. But it's not about us, it's about the variations. It looks like, in a scramble to bring in as many punters as possible, Retroid were looking quite early on in this debacle at doing two different variants of the Retroid Pocket 6, one with the D-pad up top and another with the stick up top. And that, my darlings, is exactly what Retroid have done. D-pad on top variant of the 16-bit, stick on top variant, all very nice, and the M1 and M2 buttons moved to the back. Now, the redesigned Retroid Pocket 6, hopefully the final version, is going to be pretty much the same size as the Retroid Pocket 5, maybe 5mm wider to accommodate the battery. Discount seems to have been extended from 2 weeks to 2 months. Still going to ship in January, they say. And if you've already ordered the Retroid Pocket 6, which is not the Retroid Pocket 6, and want to cancel quite reasonably, well, you might come a cropper, like Thriven Geek says they have, being told to wait a few days by Jill at Retroid. What a to-do. But even with this screen-to-body ratio change and thumbstick up-top option, will the Retroid Pocket 6 sell? Well, despite its undoubted price to performance glory and that amazing 5.5-inch screen we all know and love so well, but is the bump in performance and improved 120Hz screen enough to drag Retroid Pocket 5 owners to invest another $200 in a very similar console? There will be those amongst us like Muggins here who wanted to upgrade to a bigger screen with a lot more power and would have gone for the Konkr Pocket Fit. The super early bird price is about to expire, catch it while you can, but if you must have OLED and you wanted a bigger screen and a big bump in performance, then the AYN Odin 3 is there as well, admittedly quite a bit more expensive. But now Retroid are very much in a small niche because, also cramming the marketplace, the AYN Thor has been wildly popular. And then for $299, the Odin 2 Portal. Looking at the other end of the spectrum, you've got devices like the Mangmi AIR X, not to mention the Anbernic RG476H, which is potentially more of a Retroid Pocket than the Retroid Pocket 6 is, if you take our meaning, because it's 4x3, very much D-pad top, and can play everything up to PS2 and GameCube, with a bunch of those titles as well. All of them if you are happy to do a fair bit of tinkering. So, we've actually gone for the RG476H for all our retro gaming needs, and the Konkr Pocket Fit for everything above that, and that is why Retroid are being squeezed from both ends, as it were, and not in a good way. Now, Retroid has a very loyal fan base, despite all the many myriad of mishaps and controversies with regard to the Retroid Pocket Mini V1 screen debacle or the Retroid Pocket Flip 2 hinge issues. And we would say still rightly so, because the Retroid Pocket 5 remains the gold standard for emulation consoles, particularly in that price bracket around £200. Many will be wanting to upgrade, and a good number of those Retroid fans will have upgraded already. Have Retroid missed the boat? Are they victims of their own Retroid Pocket 5 success, now with nowhere to go, as all the other giants of the Chinese emulation world have swooped into this space? Is this the end for Retroid? Stay tuned to Hyperplay RPG and we will bring you all the answers immediately we have them. The latest news, reviews and emulation goodness are all found here. Many thanks for watching. Take care. Bye bye.